Welcome to the party, pal. Your friendly neighborhood master chaos here. What's that? Oh, this? Oh, it's available in the merch store. Link in the description in case you want to drink along with me. What's in here? Well, it's coffee with a little something extra. A lot of something extra. Today, Bobby Flay, we are digging back into the Eurocrypt of Christopher Lee.
No, God! No, God, please, no! No! No!
I honestly never thought we'd see a collection too. I did a whole video on it. This is the most shocking thing I've ever held in my hand. Well, probably not the most shocking thing, but that's a conversation for another time. Anyway, Eurocrypt of Christopher Lee. Holy shit. Today, episode 2. Thank you for joining me. You're very beautiful for doing that. And honestly, you know, in general, you're just a very beautiful person. I love you very much. Leave me a thumbs up. How about that? Today we're talking vampire movies. And, no. Just get that out of your head right now. These aren't the best vampire movies ever made. In any way, shape, or form. We are talking about Uncle Was a Vampire and Dracula Sun. Here, Christopher Lee lampoons his famous Dracula persona for the French market and the Italian market, I believe. And, well, to varying degrees of meh.
Back from the dead.
Let's start with Uncle Was a Vampire. Look at this cover. Look at this cover. Doesn't even make any sense. There's never a baby, which is a shame. There's never a baby vampire. Oh, wait a minute. No, there's never. That's the other movie. Never a baby vampire.
Bullshit. That's how I feel.
At this point, I'm not even going to pay attention to posters anymore. Uncle Was a Vampire is presented here in 2 cuts. I watched the uncut theatrical version, which runs 1 hour and 40 minutes. Osvaldo, a broke and down on his luck Italian baron, has just sold his ancestral castle to a local hotel to pay off some back taxes. Now he finds himself without a home or a job, so they hire him to be the bellhop of his once home. It just so happens his long-lost uncle Rodrigo is fleeing his native home and has decided to come and pay him a visit. As you can guess, his uncle was a vampire, and that vampire is Christopher Lee. Osvaldo reminds me at times of Jerry Lewis, but the good news is that he always plays the part in a very grounded way, and he never goes for the cheap, goofy laughs that Jerry Lewis would usually try to pull off. You'll be shocked to hear, as I was, that I didn't hate this movie. As a matter of fact, it was because Osvaldo was so genuine and believable in the part that it allowed me to accept the film, instead of bristle against what I imagined would be insufferable stabs at comedy. This is very much Osvaldo's movie, and it'll come as no surprise to most of you to hear that Christopher Lee is barely in this movie. He disappears for a long stretch in the middle of the film after biting Osvaldo on the neck and sending him on a neck hunt, at which point the film becomes a harem comedy, if you're familiar with that term from anime. Lee returns for the film's finale, which is fairly weak, but by then the film has run out of steam completely, so there's not much it can really do. Hold on to your butts. This is not total garbage, but it's also not an amazing must-watch comedy or horror movie, for that matter. It's just okay. It spends a lot of time with random characters running around the hotel, and I have to admit, it does get a little boring, and I can see someone quickly losing interest in this super light comedy. And to be completely honest, the transfer on this movie was not great. It looked fairly rough and it was shaky, and I know they had some issues with the print, but overall, restoration-wise, it looks awful. This box set is turning out to be a box of surprises. I didn't hate Uncle Was a Vampire. I thought it was a good movie, again, mainly because the main character was genuine. The number one thing I love about a comedy is, that I think makes it work the best, is when your characters aren't in on the joke. When your characters are natural people reacting to the situation. Or you go in the complete opposite direction and you do a Tim and Eric so bizarre, it's funny, so outlandishly strange that it breaks all the rules kind of comedy. Think 30 Rock. MacGruber, that I find that shit so funny. But I also like the grounded, genuine humor movies that feel like human beings interacting. I think of See No Evil, Hear No Evil. I mean, honestly, anything of Richard Pryor and Gene Wilder, things like that. I'm not saying this movie's at that level at all. But it was because it was a genuine, heartfelt, maybe heartfelt's a strong word, but at least a genuine comedy where it wasn't trying to be funny. The guy was just dealing with the situation as best he could. That made the movie work for me. It's not a laugh out loud comedy. It's not a scary movie. It's not a thriller. It's almost a melange of all those, and in a way, it's almost an anti-genre movie because it doesn't work as any kind of definitive genre. That being said, the movie's enjoyable, and I had a good time with it. It's not amazing, it's not perfect, and it's not the best movie ever made. And as a matter of fact, I wouldn't even call it good. I'd call it okay. 3 stars. Uncle was a vampire. You know, it was. Again, I'm coming from the Shell-Shocked Volume 1, where I was just so burned by that piece of shit that coming into this box set, I'm like, oh, fine, whatever. If Christopher Lee's in the opening credits, that's going to be enough. And he's in the movie, again, supporting character, barely in it, maybe 10 minutes of screen time overall. But he's in it, and he is crucial to the plot because he makes our main character a vampire and whatever, and then the whole third act takes place, which I won't give away here. But he's in it, and he does an okay job. Here, I think he does his own Italian dialogue, I believe. I'm not 100% sure on that. It's not bad. Shockingly unterrible. Let's talk about the special features. The film is presented here with an alternate cut that runs 1 hour and 37 minutes. You lose about 3 minutes from the uncut theatrical version, so no big differences there. But this alternate version looks fucking awful. Almost VHS rip quality. You know, even like YouTube rip quality. So I would avoid it like the plague. You don't need to see a version that's 3 minutes shorter. It's not going to change the world whatsoever. You do get a commentary track here with Kevin Lyons and Jonathan Rigby, and their commentary is chock full of facts, but to be honest, I found it a little boring. Finally, you get an interview here with a European film scholar. It runs about 12 minutes, and he gives you the rundown of Lee's connection to the Dracula character in depth. It's very interesting, and it is only 12 minutes, so definitely worth a watch to sort of allow you to paint a picture when it comes to Dracula and Christopher Lee's connection. Next up, the most dreaded title in the box set for me. Goddamn, when this was announced, I'm like, oh boy, this looks like old turtle-ass diarrhea poopy garbage. And was I right? Well, as you know, I'm fairly right most of the time, if not all the time. And well, I was proven right yet again. Dracula Sun is not a movie about a moving company, which would have been clever. No, instead, it's about stupid-ass stupid. That's what it's about. Dracula Sun is presented here with 2 cuts on separate Blu-rays. The director's cut runs 1 hour and 39 minutes. The US cut mercifully runs 1 hour and 17 minutes. And in my opinion, you can avoid both. But my review is going to be based on the director's cut, which according to Severin is the superior version of the movie. There are 2 audio tracks on here, and Lee does both the French and English portions of his dialogue, which I loved. And I frequently switched back and forth to hear his version of the Dracula character getting cock-blocked. What was that? Oh yeah, I said cock-blocked. Let me explain. I was expecting this to be a goofy father-son comedy, but right from the get-go, the film proved itself to be a fairly serious affair. Lee and the other actors are certainly playing the film straight, and the only goofiness does come from Dracula's son Ferdinand, who I found incredibly annoying. Honestly, I hated his fucking face, and his performance was atrocious. Another unfortunate thing is that Lee disappears for a good chunk of the movie, and we have to follow this bland motherfucker around. The worst thing is the movie decides to not be entertaining whatsoever. Father and son separate while fleeing their homeland and each go on individual blood-sucking adventures. Those adventures happen to be so fucking boring, you will die from boredom. Incidentally, my friend, I'm dead. I've died from boredom. The son heads off to work as a night watchman somewhere, and Dracula gets a job as a fucking movie star. The film devolves into a series of slow, bloodless, talky scenes. There is zero humor, zero horror, and all nothing. This is absolutely boring garbage. It's hard to describe how much of a nothing this movie is plot-wise. It could have gone in so many interesting and different directions, but instead you just get a movie where the son is trying to cock-block Dracula from getting laid with the girl that they've both fallen in love with. What the fuck? Why? Why is that the plot? Why did you make this movie? Dracula and the son fall in love with the same girl. She's cute, yeah. I'm not gonna lie, she's pretty. No nudity, FYI. They fall in love with her, and then like, oh, Dracula's trying to get some action, and she's into Dracula, and the son's like, oh no, I'm gonna stop my dad from getting laid. And then the girl, it's just shit-ass shit. Stupid movie. It completely has no idea what to do with the movie. No, like, I've never seen a movie where it's just like, what do we do? What do we do? Maybe the son throws Dracula's coffin out the window. Oh, let's do that. The movie around that simple premise, which honestly could have worked, is so serious and dry and dull that it kills any inherent humor or energy in the movie and hurts it. I think in the hands of a better director, somebody who probably would have understood comedy and timing and what works and doesn't work, probably would have fixed the problems with this movie, at least the problems I had with it. 1 star. 1 star for Dracula and Son. That's more like it. I feel like we're back in the groove with this Eurocrypt thing here. 1 star. Yeah, that feels about right for the Eurocrypt. I mean, I'm sure this movie has fans, and as we'll delve into the special features, apparently it's much beloved. The US cut is 1 hour and 17 minutes, and it's worse. I mean, I think it's universally considered a worse version of it. It definitely leans into the humor. The American dialogue is definitely a little goofier, a little more Woody Allen-esque, I guess you could say. It has this bizarre opening animation where it shows like vampire cavemen. It makes no sense, but it doesn't improve the movie, and at least it leans into a genre. I'll say that. At least it feels like this is a comedy, an outright comedy. Whereas the longer version feels more like a drama with kind of comedic overtones. I mean, this movie seriously needed blood and boobs. Special features wise, I already mentioned the US version, which still fucking sucks, so do avoid. You do get 2 commentary tracks here, one with Jonathan Rigby and Kevin Lyons returning, and another with Kat Ellinger. Not sure why they bothered with so many commentaries for this snoozer of a movie, but I enjoyed the former over Kat Ellinger's non-stop rattling off of dry facts. Even though Jonathan Rigby and Kevin Lyons can get a little, a little boring at times, I did enjoy their ASMR style dialogue a little better than Kat's just, reciting of information. You get a 19-minute interview with the actor who played the son, and it is in French with subtitles. You get a 2-minute archival interview with Chris from the set of the movie. You get a nearly 15-minute archival interview with the director of the film. It is audio only and presented in French with subtitles. And then the last 2 things are all about Claude Klotz, the author of the book the movie is based on. You get a 7-minute interview with a friend of Claude talking about his work. And lastly, a 2-minute archival interview with Claude Klotz himself on the set of the film. Lastly, special features-wise, as you can see, you get 2 discs. What the fuck? That wasn't supposed to happen. Dear Scott, thank you so much for providing me with this box set. As you saw on camera, your box set is falling apart unbeknownst to me. Look, I put it back. It's safe and sound, but keep an eye out. That's the thing that might happen, pal. Anyway, and thanks again for your support. Special features-wise, let's continue. You get a CD, which you can listen to while you're hanging yourself. This was a rough one, but it felt more like the old-fashioned Eurocrypt that I was used to. I was expecting all the movies in this box set to be this bad, at least this bad. And I mean, at least there's 2 movies I really, one movie I really liked, and 2 that I thought were okay movies. Stuff that I could recommend it if people are interested in watching some Christopher Lee stuff. This was the most painful thing on here, and probably the thing that I regret watching the most. Now, that being said, we're not done. I'm going to put this back in place into the Eurocrypt. Put this away for good, nice and gentle, so it doesn't tear. And let's talk about episode 3, the final, not really countdown, final battle. We'll go with the final battle. We're doing the book by Jonathan Rigby. I'll give you my thoughts on this. And the last 2 movies on the box set, we're doing Murder Story and Mask of Murder. So the Murder Double Feature, Episode 3 coming soon. For now, I'm going to bid you adieu. Christopher Lee's going to bid you adieu. Look at those eyes. Oh, I'm barely in these movies. I don't know why I gave him a ghost voice. I guess that's kind of disrespectful. I love Christopher Lee. I think he's amazing. All right, let's call it a day. Thank you for joining me for episode 2. I love you very much. I hope you're well. Do me a favor, leave me a thumbs up on your way out the door, because that means you and I are pals and you enjoyed your time here. Even though we may have disagreed, I doubt we did, but in case we disagreed, that's perfectly fine. Let me know in the comments. I want to hear about it. You know, we can each have our own opinions. That's the whole point of cinema. We should all have our own opinions, and we should all discuss it, and maybe I can understand why you see it that way. Here's why I saw it that way. There's nothing wrong with it. I love that. There's no wrong answers in cinema. That's the beauty of it. For now, my friend, I'm going to bid you adieu. I hope you're well. Take care of yourself. Take care of your precious time on this planet. We have such a limited time here, and we shouldn't be spending it watching garbage movies. However, I do it so you don't have to. How about that? My friend, signing off for now.